This news update is brought to you by...
Got kids? Then you need video on demand from Flow, with hours of entertaining shows and movies for boys and girls of all ages. There's always something to watch. Simply press the VOD button on your Flow remote. This is how we do TV. This is how we Flow.
It's Monday, February the 22nd, 2016, and this is your Barbados Today Morning News Update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. In our top story, Outspoken Government Minister Donville Inniss is suggesting that Prime Minister Freundel Stuart be subjected to a thorough review by his ruling Democratic Labour Party to see if he is fit to contest the next general elections. In a no-holds-barred address to the monthly meeting of the St. James South constituency branch last night, Inniss said all other sitting MPs of the DLP should also undergo such scrutiny.
I think that we are going to have quickly, as politicians, to indicate to the party and to our constituencies whether we're interested in running again in the next election or not. And every sitting MP, including the Prime Minister, must be subject to a thorough review by the party to see if you're fit and proper to be a candidate for the party going forward. You see, if we don't have these kind of frank conversations within our party, then we're going to find ourselves perhaps in a bit of trouble. So I think that's one of the first things that we have to do in party.
A tough talking Inniss also called for an overhaul in the structure of government, expressing concern about the ability of the Senate to make checks and balances on events in the lower house, and questioning the transparency in the appointment of judges.
And this thing about separating the legislative, executive, and judicial arms of government in our system is a fallacy. Because the executive arm of government comes from the legislature. And we who sit in the executive arm determine what goes in Parliament to be debated. And we have the majority of seats anyhow. So the real is not that, level of openness and independence and thought and whatnot in there. You're expected to follow suit. And we have to ask ourselves whether that is always in our best interest in the 21st century as we go forward. And then you have the judiciary. I don't think many people realize, emanating from the 1974 Constitutional Amendment, that the Prime Minister basically decides who should be a judge. And I don't know that that really is the kind of transparency that you really ought to have in the 21st century in a society that covers.
Private service vehicle operators represented by the National Union of Public Workers are recommending a drive to recruit new workers that can replace those who are giving the sector a bad name. But Chairman of the grouping, Andrea Vaughan, tells Barbados Today that persons should not just be allowed to obtain a permit and work without first going through a special training process. Vaughan said the recruits should also be required to pass an exam before getting the job. He also addressed the issue of those PSV operators with multiple convictions. Now, Vaughan explained that due to the time-consuming nature of the court system, many operators plead guilty, particularly for offenses like badges not properly displayed, wearing of polo shirts on weekends, or doors not functioning. Meanwhile, Public Relations Officer Ricardo Shaba Ford has called for an immediate halt to the deviant behavior being exhibited on the roads by some of his colleagues. Ford is therefore appealing to all PSV operators to join the NUPW grouping in its effort to provide a safer and more disciplined transport service to the traveling public.
We're begging the workers out there, public transportation, the PSV workers, all of them, to try and come together with us and try to help to make this sector what it should be. You can't sit back and wait until people come in and just push us out or push us one side and take over our industry, the livelihoods of our families and our children, etc. Because we have worked hard and continue to work hard every day in this sector to support our families mainly.
NUPW representative on the PSV committee, Roger Gibson, told Barbados Today that the union is concerned about overcrowding on routes and also sees the need for the reallocation of bus stops and the placing of new ones in developing communities such as Warrens.
You have overcrowding on routes. What this creates is a dog-eat-dog world out there, and we think that by regulating these routes, persons will be able to, some persons will be able to stop doing foolishness on the road, and once they know, well, hey, if I leave the stand at 10 past and they travel my route, I can still pick up an adequate amount of people, and therefore the recklessness which some persons are doing should be or will be eliminated.
A new dean has officially taken up duties at the St. Michael's Cathedral with an admonition from the Anglican Bishop, Reverend Dr. John Holder, that his goal must be to enhance the connection between the church and the city community. Speaking at the institution and installation yesterday of Reverend Jeffrey Gibson to replace Canon Frank Marshall, Bishop Holder also urged the new dean and rector not to discriminate against anyone in carrying out his ministry.
It starts with the conviction that within our sphere of ministry, as individuals, as a parish, there are no exclusive zones, no-go areas in relation to the proclamation of the gospel. As in the ministry of Jesus, O Lord, everyone falls within the network of the good news. It is this understanding of what it means to proclaim the good news that forms the bedrock of our ministry as Anglicans and is captured in the first mark of mission. It is an understanding that must be treated as the bedrock of ministry in this cathedral.
In sports now, an excellent partnership of 162 between century makers Shea Hope and Jonathan Carter left Barbados Pride in a strong position at the end of the third day of their top-of-the-table West Indies Cricket Board's PCL match against Guyana Jaguars at Kensington Oval yesterday. Barbados Pride, after resuming at 71 for 1, eventually declared at a commanding 320 for 4, setting the Jaguars 405 for victory. At the close, the visitors had responded positively, were on 52 without loss.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits, with a solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, with a solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Read all about it, read all about it. Get your paper, only $2.25. Let's get your paper.
You again with that stale news from yesterday. I got the Barbados today on my phone and I just get my news for free. What do she?
Barbados Today. News you can trust.
Well, it may be the month of love, but it is also the month of AgriFest. It is here, AgriFest 2016 at Queen's Park on February 26th through 28th, highlighting the theme, Grow, Sell, Eat, Repeat. A humongous amount of attractions and activities for everybody. So don't Dixie doodle your physiog. I, Brother Daddy, will be there, along with my sheep, Dolly, Dootsy, and Dan. So come, let me celebrate the very best of agriculture in the Caribbean.
Turning now to news from the region, Jamaica's Minister of Planning, Finance and Public Service, Dr. Peter Phillips, is worrying that the country would again sink into deep waters with the International Monetary Fund if a plan by the opposition Jamaica Labour Party to adjust provisions under the pay-as-you-earn system of income tax is introduced. Dr. Phillips again tore into the plan articulated by the opposition leader Andrew Holness, in which the JLP top man, among other things, put forward the objective of increasing the income tax threshold from its current $592,800 per year, that's $49,400 per month, to $1.5 million yearly, $125,000 monthly, beginning on April the 1st, the start of the 2016-2017 fiscal year. And on the international scene, the man accused of killing 6 people and injuring 2 more in a Saturday evening shooting rampage in Kalamazoo, Michigan, was an Uber driver who picked up and dropped off passengers between shootings. More in this CNN report.
What really bothers authorities here locally is the sheer randomness of this all. The police chief was telling me that for all intents and purposes, the suspect is an average Joe. They did seize a semi-automatic handgun from his person when they arrested him. They also took a look inside of his home and seized several other weapons, Poppy. They're trying to figure out whether or not those weapons were used in the commission of this shooting spree.
That's news and sports. However, you can join us again for more this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.